I always thought lawyers were all about rules and boundaries, strictly professional, buttoned up, and emotionally detached. But Diane? She was none of those things, at least not with me. She walked into the room with her signature confidence, closing the door behind her with a soft click. That look, equal parts focus and flirtation, had become far too familiar over the past few weeks. We had started out strictly professional, of course. She was my divorce attorney, and I was her overwhelmed client trying to salvage what I could from the wreckage of a failed marriage. But somewhere between the endless meetings, calls, and late-night email threads, the lines had started to blur. Diane glanced at me and smiled, slipping a file onto the desk. "It looks like we're almost done," she said, her voice smooth, steady. "I believe we'll be able to keep your company intact." I nodded, trying to feel the relief that should have come with those words. Instead, I felt an ache, a strange emptiness. It wasn't about the company. It was something else, something that had crept into my life while I wasn't paying attention. "You look surprised," I said, testing the waters. She tilted her head, eyes narrowing slightly. Surprised? Not exactly. That spark in her gaze returned. She knew exactly what I was talking about. "I think you know what I'm feeling," I added softly. Her smile lingered, but there was something serious underneath. Something unsaid but deeply understood. Our conversations had shifted slowly, almost imperceptibly. At first, it was just her checking in, asking how I was holding up, if I needed anything. Then came the late-night phone calls to talk strategy, which drifted into lighter topics, shared laughter. Those calls turned into casual coffees, then dinners, where talk of contracts gave way to personal stories, subtle glances, and moments that lingered too long. Now, here we were. Divorce nearly finalized. The end of the road professionally, but maybe not otherwise. "I'm not sure I want this to end," I admitted, the words tumbling out before I could stop them. Her eyes didn't waver. "You mean the divorce?" she asked, then paused before continuing. "Or us?" "Both, maybe," I replied, my voice quiet but sure. She didn't retreat. Instead, she crossed the room and sat down beside me on the small office couch, abandoning the professional distance that had always separated us. "Are you sure about what you're saying?" she whispered, leaning in slightly. "Nothing's felt certain since the day you took my case," I said honestly. "But I know this. What's between us, it's real." Diane let out a slow breath, her guard dropping in a way I'd never seen before. "I tried to keep it professional," she said. "But you made that difficult." "You didn't exactly make it easy either," I teased, the warmth between us undeniable now. A quiet, loaded silence settled over the room. The tension that had simmered for weeks was now boiling, impossible to ignore. "If we cross this line, there's no undoing it," she said. "I don't want to go back," I said without hesitation. She studied me for a moment longer. Then, with a decisive shift, she closed the remaining distance between us and kissed me. It started slow, careful, almost hesitant, but within seconds, it deepened, turning fierce and hungry. All those weeks of denial, restraint, and buried desire erupted in that one moment. It wasn't just a kiss. It was everything we had held back, finally breaking free. When we pulled away, breathless, she looked at me with a new softness. "This could complicate everything," she said, her tone more amused than warning. "Everything's already complicated," I replied, grinning. A quiet laugh escaped her lips. "Then I guess we have nothing left to lose." She leaned in again, and I didn't resist. We kissed once more, longer this time, unhurried. It felt like stepping into something we'd both been circling for too long. In the back of my mind, I knew there would be consequences, ethical questions, professional risks, potential gossip. But in that room, in that moment, none of it mattered. All I could feel was the gravity of her presence, the certainty of our connection. Whatever happened next, I knew I wasn't walking away from this. From her. Some truths don't belong in a file or a courtroom. Some truths live in glances, in late-night phone calls, in stolen moments on an office couch. And this truth? It was ours.